okay, what happens if you have 150 parts per million phos?
Seen that.
I have too. I've got a test that's got that on it. Dude, what do you do?
Balance.
Okay, just have a crap load of zinc.
I mean, have your zinc in check, have your copper in check. Then I think to myself, my anions are going to have heavy competitions.
Okay.
So phosphorus is negative in the soil. What other nutrients I could have trouble getting into the plant because there's so many negatives?
Right.
Sulfur, boron, nitrate. Those elements will be fighting for a room at the table at the roots. Fighting hard.
So what happens if you have an extreme, like crazy high magnesium and calcium in soils, like parts per million? What if your parts per million, and this may not be crazy high, but say it's 500 parts per million mag and 4,000 parts per million calcium?
Well, then you go, and of course, we got to stop and say, it matters what your CEC is, right? Because if your CEC is higher, you have more tables.
20.
Or you have more chairs, right?
20, yeah.
Well, then you get to like, okay, so let's just say your base. I like talking in base sats when you talk about this just because it's easier to do it like per 100.
Sure.
Instead. But you look at calcium, ideally you want that around, 65 to 70 chairs out of 100 to be filled by that, right?
Sure.
Then you do mag, you want that to be 12.
Okay.
Potassium 2 to 5. Hydrogen, the rest. So then you're looking there.
It's 25 CEC.
Okay. So I'm still going to use 100 chairs.
Yeah.
For simplicity.
Sure.
But so if calcium
base saturation mag's 15.
Okay.
Base saturation calcium is 80.
Okay. So there, your potassium is what, 3?
2.
Okay. Sorry, blew up. So what's going to happen there? So right there, now you're getting a relationship with mag again.
Yeah.
So your positive ions are going to have a hard time getting in.
Yeah.
So you talk about positive ions. You got your micros.
Mm-hmm.
You got K. You got ammonium forms of nitrogen. The plant just has to work harder to get them, or it has to take up a lot of one element to get the other element. So it's called the law of the maximum.
Okay.
Too much of a good thing's a bad thing.
Yeah.
So I would say the cations, for the most part, the plant has that kind of balance. But I actually look at my cations to my anions and making sure those are, and this is more on the tissue side, but how is that relationship?
Gotcha.
Do I have enough of pluses and enough minuses within there?
What were we talking about?
Well, we were originally talking about like 150 parts phos, right?
That's right. Crazy high phos.
Crazy high phos. How would you manage that? Well, usually if you have crazy high phos, you probably have crazy high potassium. You probably have crazy high a lot of stuff. Keep the earth alive. Keep adding carbon to buffer.
Do you just stop putting manure on?
Yes.
Okay. Just this constant manure.
Yeah. No.
Because I think a lot of farmers think that just there's a lot of manure is good, a ton of manure's got to be better.
Well, it goes back to even this series that we've kind of done today, carbon to nitrogen ratio.
Yeah.
If you keep applying manure and it's a 5-to-1 ratio, you're going to burn out that soil.
Yeah.
You're going to have a lot of nutrition, but there's no way for the biology to get that nutrition to plants.
Is that why beans behind manure don't do good the first year? Here.
Possibly.
We see that a lot here. You put a lot of manure on, you plant beans, and dude, they they suffer.
Well, and it could be a thing too. You talk about the law of the maximum. Is there too much K that it can't get nitrate? Well, no, that wouldn't make sense. So scratch that. Strike that from the minutes. Yeah. So in that situation, possibly, definitely if it's raw.
Yeah.
Like it's fresh stuff.
Scraped straight out of the pins and thrown out there.
100%. Now, if you had a corn on corn field, or a corn on wheat,
That's the baby to go to.
Well, that would be the one that I would say you could probably get away with it.
Sure.
But with the same token,
because we put corn and wheat on it, the crops do much better.
Yep.
And then you follow it with beans later, and they do okay.
Yep.
So that's just a carbon nitrogen thing.
I would say that would be 100%. Definitely when you're talking about tons.
Yeah, like
that you're
50
putting on.
tons.
That's another podcast. I'm a huge proponent of composted manure. Within doses.
I would like to buy some. So, you got some, call me.
All right.
Guys, if you've liked the information that you've seen so far, go ahead and check out the full-length podcast on our YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe there. It's also on all the major podcast platforms. We're constantly dropping info and more content on all the social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, etc. Check it out for a lot more content.